This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
No matter what they're cooking up in Madison, it still smells rosy. But it's not the leftover scent of success from last year's Rose Bowl trip, but the fervent belief that an even bigger prize is within Wisconsin's reach. Badgers didn't need a football savior, but boy, they needed a quarterback, and enter college football's version of a prized free agent, North Carolina State transfer Russell Wilson. Now, he might bring the spice. Here are the main ingredients. Monty Ball and James White power a prolific Badger rushing attack. Tonight, Bobby Houck, in his second year, brings his UNLV Rebels in without fanfare and hoping to cook up a stunner in Madtown. The Badgers are ready, and so are we on Thursday night. College football prime time served by Applebee's. Camp Randall Stadium, one of the great venues in all of college football. And tonight, the reigning Big Ten co-champion Wisconsin Badgers, ranked 11th in the land, get set to welcome UNLV, a season opener on Thursday night. Glad to have you with us. Reese Davis alongside my partners Greg James and Jesse Palmer. Jen Brown's going to join us in just a little bit. And how great is it to finally have some football to talk about after an off-season filled with discontent and scandals and bad news. And then there's Wisconsin. The Badgers, coming off their Rose Bowl trip, had a lot of losses from last year's team, but the biggest void was at quarterback. In steps Russell Wilson. Athletic Director Barry Alvarez likened it to winning the lottery, Jesse. So what does it do for the Badgers' portfolio as we see them run onto the field?
I think a little over 2 months ago, this football team was hopeful that it could repeat as Big Ten champions. But when Russell Wilson arrived on campus in July and he filled the void left by last year's quarterback Scott Tolzien, this football team started believing that it will win another Big Ten championship. And Russell Wilson brings tremendous credentials with him from NC State. He's very experienced. He had 36 starts. He also accounted for 93 touchdowns. That's second most in ACC history. He is very athletic, and with that athleticism brings an added dimension to this Wisconsin offense. But guys, let's be honest. For the last 24 years, ever since Barry Alvarez was named head coach of this program, this offense has had a formula for success. They're going to run the football with James White, with Monty Ball, regardless of who's playing quarterback.
A lot of that success, though, is because of the offensive line. And so this is an offense that has to replace 3 starters who last year were fantastic, now projected, expected to be starters in the National Football League. We're going to watch that tonight. Bob Bostad is the offensive line coach. There's a reason they're called OU line here. This line here is outstanding year in and year out. So we've got to watch that. The other thing that I'm watching is defensive coordinator Chris Ash. It's his first game. He's the new guy. He's an intense guy, very intense and focused. We expect to see him today make some adjustments to this defense. Will it be a lot more blitzing? Will they sit back more? So let's see what the identity is of this Badger defense today.
UNLV trying to establish an identity as well. Bobby Houck trying to rebuild the program. Wisconsin, meanwhile, has won 28 straight regular season non-conference games. The last loss to UNLV, and the Rebels do it again.